can't believe how many of these sneakers I've been looking forward to for months, if not years. What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler, and today we're taking a look at the sneaker releases in the first half of September 2022. Thanks so much for tuning in today, but before we dive into things, I want to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, me. I really gotta stop thanking myself for sponsoring my own videos, because I'm not even really sponsoring them, I'm just talking about the brand that I started. But that aside, the brand that I started is a sock brand called APTHCRY. And at APTHCRY, we create your sneakers' favorite socks. And actually, this Friday, September 2nd, we've got one of the most insane artist collaborations we've ever had. In fact, I actually put together an entire promo video just to show you guys how awesome she is. She's collaborated with brands like Gucci and Instagram and White Claw, the list goes on and on and on, and now she's collaborating with APTHCRY, which for us is insane. So without further ado, here's the video.
My name is Vitoria, and I am an artist and poet, and I live and work in New York City. My work is mainly abstract, bold, colorful, and bright, and it aims to celebrate the nuances of womanhood, which is why I'm really excited to have collaborated with APTHCRY on 4 beautiful, abstracted, unisex socks that everyone could wear throughout the year to add a little bit of color to their wardrobe. The biggest inspiration of my work, I would say, is nature. So a lot of my color palettes pull from different nature photos that I take as I travel. My life goal is to see all of the national parks in the United States, so pulling colors either from flowers or plants or sedimentary rocks, depending on the park. That's really where a lot of my form and my palettes are informed from. Beyond that, the meaning and interpretations behind my work and the poetry that I write are inspired by the women in my life, my lived experience as a woman within the world, and the goal of being able to relate to other women within my artwork.
But getting into the video, if you've never seen one of these sit or sell videos before, basically what I do is I take a look at all of the sneaker releases or all of the important sneaker releases in the first half or second half of any given month. In this case, we're taking a look at the first half of September 2022. I let you all know what I think of each one of these releases and whether I think each one of these shoes is either going to sit on shelves or sell out. So now that you understand how it works, let's get into it. Starting things off on September 1st, we've got the women's Nike Dunk Low in white and sail. So I mean, the name of this shoe says it all. This is a white and sail women's Nike Dunk Low. The sneaker itself actually from a distance looks primarily white. You really don't get to see any of the differences in the material color unless you get really up close to the shoe or look at this shoe in pictures. Overall, it's not a bad look. It's definitely clean, but it's nothing that exciting. However, at the end of the day, it is a Nike Dunk Low, and for that reason, I definitely think this shoe will sell out. Moving on to September 2nd, we've got the New Balance 9060s in Black Castle Rock. So this is a newer New Balance silhouette. It first released as a Joe Freshgoods collaboration, and then New Balance has started releasing their own more standard, more GR colorways. This version of the shoe is not a collaboration, but it still features the same unique silhouette of the 9060, which I personally love, and overall, in its black and gray makeup, it's a very clean shoe. As far as popularity of this shoe, I'm sure it's going to be a very popular release because people are still hyped on the 9060 silhouettes, and for that reason, I do think that this shoe will probably sell out. Also dropping on the 2nd, we've got the Adidas Human Race NMD S1 Riot in the cardboard colorway. This shoe absolutely has Timberland vibes. It always kind of has, at least the silhouette, but in this cardboard or light tan and brown colorway, it absolutely does. I don't know if this is going to be a shoe that everyone's going to love. I know that there are some people out there who are hyped on this release, but I just don't know what the popularity of this shoe is going to be, and because of that, I wouldn't be surprised if this shoe ended up sitting on shelves. Next up, also dropping on the 2nd, is a new take on the Panda Dunks, the Nike Dunk Low World Champs. So this shoe is apparently Nike self-congratulating themselves for being the most popular sneaker brand out there. I think that's a little corny, but it is what it is. These World Champ Dunks come in almost the exact same color blocking as the very popular Panda Dunks. However, the materials on this shoe are a little bit different. Instead of going for the standard black leather overlays that are used on the Pandas, Nike decided to upgrade materials a little bit and go for a much more glossy, sort of wrinkled leather on the overlays. In addition to that, they also decided to switch out the Nike swoosh for a black patent leather Nike swoosh, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't like as much, but it is what it is. And then the final detail that makes these shoes the World Champ Dunks is actually the gold belt that they use as a lace lock in the bottom of the laces, making the shoes look even more corny than I think they already do. And I mean, hey, that's just my own opinion. I don't know if I'd do that if I was in their position. Not only that, it's possible that this story is not actually the story that's used to sell the sneaker. Maybe they're talking about some other sort of event or someone else that's tied to the release of this sneaker. I don't know, but we're pretty close to the release of this shoe, and that's the only story that we've been hearing, so I would assume that that might actually be the real one. But regardless of what I think, and also regardless of the fact that people claim that they're sick of the Panda Dunks keep selling out, and this shoe looks just like a pair of Pandas, and for that reason, I definitely think this shoe will sell out as well. But now getting to a sneaker that I'm incredibly excited for, and that's the Adidas Adi Foam Q. I'm still not sure if this is the Adi Foam or Adi Foam. I've heard a bunch of people pronounce it Adi Foam, but it's spelled Adi Foam, so I don't know what the hell is going on, but it is what it is. So this sneaker is to cause a lot of controversy. And that's mainly because this shoe looks just like a pair of foam runners, and Kanye notably over the last couple months has been getting mad at Adidas for allegedly stealing his designs. Now, as I've said in previous videos, Adidas has tried to cover their tracks with this shoe by saying that this shoe is inspired by the Adidas Quake, which is a shoe from years ago. And while yes, the overall shape of the shoe definitely looks inspired by the Adidas Quake, at the same time, the material usage, the style of the sneaker is absolutely informed by the foam runner. I mean, there's literally no denying it. If Kanye was mad about the slides, he's probably very mad about these. I mean, sure, Adidas produces the foam runners, so it doesn't seem like they're actually stealing any designs because the foam runners are technically an Adidas shoe, but at the same time, that's not part of Kanye's contract, at least that's what he said. And it is honestly kind of lame that Adidas would create a shoe that's so heavily informed by another one of their sneakers and not consult with the original designer of that sneaker. I don't know, it's a weird situation, it's one that I'm sure we don't know really anything about. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, but whatever the case may be, I'm still very excited about this shoe. This shoe looks awesome. Yes, it looks like it's a foam runner, and I love foam runners, so that's probably why I like this shoe so much, but I'm super excited about trying this shoe out for myself. I've got a pair coming into review, hopefully sooner than later, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And yeah, I can't wait for this shoe to drop. And because of the hype building behind this shoe, and presumably the looks and the style of this sneaker, I definitely think this shoe will sell out. Also dropping on the same day, we've got the Klot Jordan Delta 2 Flint. So Klot and Nike and Klot and Jordan brand have had a long-standing relationship filled with great collaborations, and this time around it seems like Klot and Edison Chen are collaborating on a pair of sneakers that haven't gotten a lot of love, and that's the Jordan Delta 2. So this collaboration seemingly takes one of the most popular Jordan colorways of all time, the Flint colorway, and puts it on the Jordan Delta 2. And while no, I don't think this shoe will be as popular as the Flint 13s, I do think the fact that this shoe is a collaboration and the fact that it features this colorway will give it a much better chance at succeeding than it would have if they had just done some random colorway. And in my opinion, it's really sad that the market is so driven by hype, at least the collector sneaker market. It used to be that you buy sneakers that you like, and I think that's still the case for most collectors, but a lot of people out there just buy shoes because they know they can resell them. And this is one of those shoes that, because it's probably not going to resell, a lot of people are just going to pass it by and ignore it. And they might not make more collaborations like this because no one was that interested in it. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe the shoe will be wildly popular and they'll release a bunch more of these, but most likely I think it's going to be one of those shoes that people will see, be like, oh, that's kind of cool, and then let the shoe sit, and for that reason, I'm giving this shoe a sit. And then finally rounding off the second, we've got the Tom Sachs Nike General Purpose shoe in the Archive colorway. So apparently Archive is a yellow color. I think the official colorway of this shoe on the box is Dark Sulfur, but they decided to name it the Archive colorway, which I actually don't mind because it's different. As most of you probably know, this is the second colorway of the General Purpose shoe to release. The first colorway was sort of a tan and blue colorway, and this time around we're going for a much more yellow and tan look. And while I don't like the look of this colorway as much as the original, it would still be a shoe that I'd be happy to pick up for retail. I don't know if you all are familiar with the marketing that went into this shoe, but according to Tom Sachs, he wants this shoe to be a boring, everyday, general purpose shoe. The kind of shoe that you just wear and you don't think about. You don't have to worry about the hype, you don't have to worry about the shoe's resale, you just throw it on and you wear it every single day through every sort of environment. Apparently Tom Sachs was kind of bummed out by the resale market that formed around the releases of his previous shoes, which were stupid limited and made of crazy materials, so understandably they shot up in price, so I'm not sure why he's mad about it, but hey, you know what, if you want to create a shoe that everyone can wear, it makes sense that you're releasing a GR shoe or a semi-GR shoe. Unfortunately for Tom Sachs though, even though the shoe is going to be much more widely available than any of his previous collaborations, it's still absolutely going to sell out because there still is a good amount of hype behind this silhouette. Then moving on to September 3rd, we've got the Nike Dunk Low Racer Blue. Apparently this shoe is also known as the Reverse Kentucky, and that's because the upper of the shoe comes in a racer blue and the overlays of the shoe come in a white, which is usually the opposite of that. The shoe itself looks pretty solid, and it's also probably one of the better Nike Dunk Low colorways to drop this month, and obviously because it is a Nike Dunk Low, this shoe will most likely sell out. Also releasing on the 3rd, we've got the Air Jordan 6 Magnet Gray College Navy. So this shoe comes in an almost entirely gray makeup. The upper of the shoe comes in some sort of nubuck suede, and then the shoe's overall look is accented by college navy. Now I'm not gonna lie, this shoe is not that exciting, but with that being said, it's still a decent looking sneaker, and if you're looking to grab a pair of Air Jordan 6s that you can wear with a lot of different things, this is not a bad way to go. Recently, Jordans just haven't been as popular as they once were. 2 years ago, every colorway and size would sell out. 2 years before that, we'd have a lot of sneakers sitting, and And I think 2 years in the future, shoes will start selling out again. I think it's sort of a cyclical pattern that happens, and right now, Jordan 6s just aren't moving like that. And because of that, I think these magnet gray college navy Air Jordan 6s will probably sit on shelves. After that, we've got the Air Jordan 5 Low PSG. So one of Jordan Brand's many partnerships is with the Parisian soccer team PSG. And because of that, every year or so they release a PSG Air Jordan. And this time around, we're getting the Air Jordan 5 in this sort of light brown or tan color. Annoyingly, even though the shoe uses less material than standard Air Jordan 5s, they're pricing it like a standard Air Jordan 5 at $200. Most likely because in a lot of ways it is a collaboration, or I guess a partnership, maybe not a collaboration. I'm not sure exactly what to call this shoe, but it does feature some pretty cool details that may make this shoe worth around $200 if you're into PSG. First off, you've got the PSG logo printed underneath the semi-translucent outsole. You've got this French flag hit on the lateral side of the sneaker, and then you've also got this really interesting bright red candle wax pressed logo on the heel. It's honestly a pretty cool collaboration overall, but is it $200 cool? In my opinion, not so much, and I think that's the case for at least a lot of people in the United States, and for that reason, I do think that this shoe will probably sit on shelves. Then rounding off September 3rd, we've got the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 Slate. So this shoe has actually been rumored for a very long time, I think for like the last 3 or 4 years. For whatever reason, Adidas decided to not drop this colorway until now, and I think a lot of people who were kind of cooling off on 350 V2s might have had some of their interest reignited with this shoe. A majority of this shoe comes in sort of a light slate gray or a light tan color, accented by a black stripe along the lateral side. Now overall, design-wise, and I guess also colorway-wise, it's not that different from other Yeezys that we've seen even recently, but it's one of those colorways that I think a lot of people will be interested in because it is very easy to rock. And because of that, I do think that the 350 V2 slates will probably sell out. Continuing on to September 7th, we've got the Jordan System 23 in sail and cement gray. I think it's fair to say that foam clog hype is officially here. It started with Crocs, then we got the foam runners, now we're getting New Balance foam clogs. We just talked about the Adi Foam Qs, and now we're getting the Jordan System 23s. It's getting a little crazy, and I think out of all of the foam clogs that I just mentioned, the Jordan System 23 is the worst. I'm not saying it's a bad looking shoe, but it literally looks like what would have happened if Jordan Brand tried to make a Croc, and that's exactly what they're doing. And that's exactly what it looks like. And because of that, unless this shoe is like wildly comfortable or gets some crazy collaboration, I just don't see this shoe going anywhere other than the outlets. It just feels like Jordan Brand really phoned it in with this release, which is a bummer because there was a lot of great potential there. I feel like the higher ups of Jordan Brand were like, designers, make a foam shoe because they're popular. And that's like the only brief that they gave them, and they had to make the shoe look like other Jordans out there. And because of that, it didn't have its own personality and its own feel like a lot of the other foam shoes that are out. So in my opinion, it's just gonna fall flat. I think this first colorway will sell out because everyone's interested in foam shoes, but I think moving forward in like 6 months, no one's gonna care about this shoe. All the prices are gonna drop and it's gonna be sitting at outlets because there's so many other great foam shoes out there like Crocs and foam runners, and in my opinion, I think the Adi Foam Qs or Adi Foam Qs are gonna be fired, and I think they're gonna sell really well for a while, maybe not forever, but for a while. And so in my opinion, there's too much competition out there that's just better, and so because of that, I think in the long run, this is gonna be an outlet shoe. For right now, in this colorway, I do think this shoe will probably sell out because it's probably going to be very limited, but I don't know, kind of sucks in my opinion. I am gonna buy it and review it, but only because I like foam shoes and I want to try it out. Moving on to September 9th, we've got the women's Nike Dunk Low Medium Olive. So as you probably could have guessed from the name, this is a Nike Dunk Low that comes in primarily white, accented by medium olive. It's a good looking shoe. We've seen a lot of these shoes before though, but again, it's a Nike Dunk. That's all I gotta say, it's a Nike Dunk, and because of that, it's gonna sell out. It is a good colorway, but it's not that exciting. Still gonna sell out though. After that, also on the 9th, we've got the Nike Dunk High Pecan and Sail. Again, it's another Nike Dunk, so you know it's gonna be popular. However, the colorway of this shoe is a little bit different than some of the other Dunks that we've seen recently. You've got a primarily white leather upper accented by a medium brown leather overlay, which I think actually looks really good. You've got these really nice clean blue laces, as well as a cream colored midsole and outsole. And while I don't think it's gonna be the most hyped up colorway in the world, I do think people are gonna like it. It's an easy colorway to rock, and because of that, I do think this shoe is probably going to sell out. Moving on to September 10th, we've got two colorways of a very interesting collaboration, the Nike Air Humera Jack Moose. So, for whatever reason, Jack Moose decided to collaborate with Nike on an older silhouette, the Air Humera, and create something that looked like this. So I understand that there's a lot of people out there who are gonna love this shoe. I get that it's gonna be like a high fashion thing and models will probably wear it on the runway or whatever, but I'm not about it in either of these two colorways. You've got the light bone and gold colorway, which is sort of a tan and white colorway, and you've also got the ale brown and gold colorway, which is a brown colorway. Both of these shoes looked fine. They've been announced months ago, so we knew about these shoes dropping on September 10th for like half the year, but they're just like, in my opinion, they're like, I don't need them. I don't want them. And I think they're honestly gonna sit. So that's my opinion. Maybe I'm being too harsh in these. I don't know. It's just not for me. And then finally rounding off the 10th, we've got the return of a classic with the Air Jordan 3 Fire Red. So I've actually already done a full review on this sneaker, so if you guys want to check it out, there will be a link at the top of the screen. But this is a retro of one of the very first Air Jordan 3 colorways, and for the first time ever, well, I guess the first time since the initial release of this shoe, it's featuring Nike Air branding on the heel. Not only that, this Fire Red 3 is incredible because it comes in a shape that is very similar to the original. The other two Fire Red 3 retros that came before this shoe never looked exactly right, and they're also getting the elephant print right on this shoe, which I'm so excited about. In my opinion, this is a retro done right, and I'm so happy that Jordan Brand is doing this shoe justice, and I think it's absolutely a sneaker that people are gonna go crazy for. With that being said, I don't think the resale price of this shoe is gonna be crazy. I think it's gonna be easy to grab a pair of these for like $50 over retail. However, even though they're most likely going to release a ton of these, the hype is there for these shoes, so for that reason, I think these shoes are probably gonna sell out. Moving on to September 12th, we've got a restock of the Resin Adidas Yeezy slides. So this colorway is one of the less popular Yeezy slide colorways. Not the least popular. You've got the orange ones and the green ones that no one seems to care about, but these ones are definitely lower on the list compared to the Pures and the Onyxes and so on. But it's still a great looking shoe. This resin color is sort of a washed out green look, and in my opinion, even though it's one of the least popular ones, I think it's one of the best looking ones because you don't get colorways of slides like this very often. But honestly, it doesn't matter what colorway of the slides are dropping, they're still gonna sell out, and because of that, I definitely think that this resin restock will absolutely sell. And then finally finishing off today's video, on September 15th, we've got the J Balvin Air Jordan 2s. So as you most likely know, this is not J Balvin's first collaboration with Jordan Brand. His first collab was on the Air Jordan 1s, and they came in a crazy, as I like to call them, migraine colorway, because that's literally what I see when I'm getting a migraine. I'm getting a migraine just thinking about it. But this time around, and most likely because of Jordan Brand's Air Jordan 2 push, he's collaborating on a pair of Air Jordan 2s. Now at first glance, these shoes are not that exciting. They're definitely toned down from the previous J Balvin collaboration. They come with a blue upper that has this sort of puffy detailing to it, which I actually kind of like. They feature some cloud prints on the heel of the shoe, and it's just kind of a blue Air Jordan 2. But where this shoe gets a little bit wild is that the Wings logo on the tongue actually lights up. I've actually got some footage of it here from SneakerCon DC with Private Selection. It's a crazy looking sneaker because of that light up detail. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a sucker for gimmicks. If it was not for that light up Wings logo, I wouldn't be that interested in this shoe, and I think that's the case for a lot of people. It reminds me of Nike mags and shoes that had light up soles, and that's something that really reminds me of like the mid-2000s and mid-2010s when Nike sneakers had those crazy gimmicks. And because of that, I'm annoyingly interested in this shoe. I hate to say it, but it's true. I mean, again, the shoe itself is fine. I like the colorway of the sneaker. I like the color blocking. I don't mind J Balvin as an artist, but man, that light up detail, that sold me. That's so dumb. It's ridiculous, but it sold me. It sold me. At the end of the day, though, that detail is really just icing on the cake. And I think even without that detail, this collaboration would have been hyped. So because of that, I think the shoe will definitely sell out. And because of the lights, I think the resale prices are going to be stupid. But that pretty much wraps up the entire video for today. Now, I would love to know your thoughts on these releases and which one of these shoes you're looking forward to most. So make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Once again, if you're interested in grabbing any of the socks from the APTHCRY Amber Vitoria collection, it drops this Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on APTHCRY.com. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.